They never told us why we were taken outside before dawn. They never explained what would happen if we refused. In places like this, explanations were a luxury, and refusal didn't exist. The only warning was the cold itself, creeping under doors, seeping into bones, reminding us that the world could still hurt us in new ways. The wind cut through us like knives, not the sharp kind that strike once, but the slow kind, the kind that keeps carving until you stop feeling anything at all. They lined us up before the sky changed color. No shouting, no music, just boots pressing into snow and the sound of breathing turning into smoke. The kind of silence that presses against your ears until your thoughts start screaming. The order came quietly. Remove your coats. Remove your shoes. Remove everything except fear. No one questioned it. Hands moved without permission from the mind. Metal buttons burned my fingers as I unfastened them, skin sticking for a moment too long. Took Old Ways and tea, waiting for us. It was already inside us, already claiming space. Somewhere behind me, someone began to cry. Not loudly, not enough to be punished. Just enough to be heard. That was when I understood something terrifying. This wasn't punishment. This was inspection. We stood there with bare skin exposed to winter air as soldiers walked slowly down the line. They weren't rushing. They weren't angry. That frightened me more than shouting ever could. They were choosing. Their eyes didn't see people anymore. They measured, judged, paused. Boots stopped, then moved again. When one of them stopped behind me, I felt it before I heard him. The air changed. A shadow fell across my back. My knees weakened, and I fixed my eyes on the snow because I knew better than to turn around. I thought this was the moment where dignity disappears forever. Then something unexpected happened. He knelt. A U.S. soldier. Not one of the men barking orders. Not one of the ones watching us like property being counted. He knelt in the snow slowly, carefully, as if every movement mattered. He didn't look at me. Not even once. As if eye contact might break something fragile. He reached out and held his jacket toward me. He didn't explain. He didn't hurry. He just held it there. Steam rose from his breath, and his hands trembled, whether from cold or something else. I couldn't tell. "Put this on," he said softly. Not a command. Ah, request. I didn't move. None of us did. Accepting it felt dangerous. Kindness always did in places like this. Kindness came with consequences. He waited anyway. Snow gathered on his shoulders. His knees sank deeper into the ice, soaking through his uniform. Seconds passed. Too many. Finally, my hands moved on their own. The fabric was warm. So warm it hurt, like touching something alive after being numb for too long. When I slipped it over my shoulders, a feeling spread through me that was worse than the cold. Shame. Not mine. His. That was when the shouting started. Someone yelled his rank. Someone else swore. Orders overlapped. Boots rushed forward. He didn't stand immediately. He just nodded once, slow and deliberate, as if he had already accepted whatever would come next. Then he rose, stepped back into formation, and disappeared among the others. Just like that, he was gone. They moved us after that. Quickly. Roughly. Loaded us into trucks. Bodies pressed together. Breaths shallow. Eyes empty. No one spoke about the jacket. No one dared. But everyone felt it. Because once you're shown real mercy, even for a moment, everything else becomes unbearable. Days passed. Or weeks. Time stopped behaving normally. The camp was a place where names dissolved, where faces changed shape from hunger, where mirrors no longer recognized you. Hope was dangerous there. Hope made you careless. And yet, every night, I wrapped myself in that jacket. I didn't know his name. I didn't know where he was sent. I didn't even know if he was still alive. But I knew one thing. Someone had seen me not as a body, not as a number scratched onto a list, as a human being freezing in the dark. One night, alarms shattered the silence. Gunfire echoed in the distance, sharp and frantic. The ground shook beneath our feet. We were dragged outside again, panic spreading faster than orders. But this time, it wasn't inspection. This time, it was abandonment. The guards fled first. They always did when the world started changing. We waited. No one moved, because freedom is terrifying when you've rehearsed, dying every day. When engines finally approached, they sounded different. Heavier, steadier. American engines. When the soldiers entered the camp, they stopped in their tracks. Some turned away. Some covered their mouths. Some cried openly without trying to hide it. One of them froze, staring straight at me at T-Jacket. He walked closer slowly, like he wasn't sure he was allowed. When our eyes finally met, his face tightened. "That jacket," he said quietly. I nodded. His voice broke. "I thought they took it." I shook my head. "No," I whispered. "You gave it." He didn't smile. He didn't say anything else. He just closed his eyes. And for a moment, in the ruins of everything we had survived, two people stood in silence, connected by a single act that refused to die. History remembers battles. It remembers generals, dates, and maps, drawn in ink. But it rarely remembers the moment a soldier knelt in the snow, looked away, and chose humanity when no one was watching.